The neighbors stopped partying for about 10 minutes. So I think now is a good time to fit in some music. What is happening, you awesome people? Welcome back to the channel. Hope that you're having a beautiful night, a wonderful day, a fantastic afternoon. Today we are listening to Dire Straits with their song Private Investigations, continuing where we left off, listening to Telegraph Road. I don't know why I can't speak. Moving on to the next track because you know what? Telegraph Road? Now that's a song. So I figured why not just follow up and move on to the next track, which is also one that you guys had recommended and requested as well. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. You know, I get what I want to listen to more Dire Straits. You get what you want to listen to more Dire Straits and see my reactions to it. But I hope that you guys are having a great day. Thank you for being here. Let's get into it. Why talk so much? Why wait? Why delay? This is Dire Straits with Private Investigations. Little private eye. The life of a private eye is out of the public eye. This song is a lesson on restraint. This is the perfect teachable moment in patience, building tension, holding the tension, and having little petty mores of release. Because in listening to this song, I was expecting and I was waiting for that moment, that Phil Collins moment, where the drums come in with some big fill and it leads into this, like this just big, heavy finale to the track. But it never came. And even though it changed my expectations, it wasn't a letdown. It was actually kind of more of a hype up on it, especially in lieu of the theme, talking about a private investigator. And you can imagine his life as it's described, you know, sneaking around, trying to figure out people's lives and their lives and like that whole thing. I like that. And the song even has a kind of film noir-ish approach in its music. Last time when we listened to Telegraph Road, I'm pretty sure that I mentioned how the song and the way that it was built up was very cinematic. And I feel like this track also features that same kind of drama, just in a much more subtle way. Once again, I have to point out the relationship so synchronous and so in sync between Mark, of course, on the guitar, and the piano being played by Alan Clark. They are intertwined with one another. Really enjoy just hearing them play together, building off of each other's ambience. I also like when the marimba came in a little bit later, because a marimba, when played a certain way to me, reminds me of sneaking around, right? So marimba here is played by Mike Manieri, and the way that's integrated into the song, the way that it comes in, is really nice because it kind of plays back and forth briefly with the music before it settles into a pace. I like that. It's like the song has already been jogging, and now we have a new runner up, and he's catching up. He joins in pace, joins in rhythm, they have a little back and forth, and then he sets in pace. Like a good relay race. You know, catching up, passing off the torch. Except here we're not passing the torch, everyone's holding a little bit of the fire. And I would be absolutely remiss if I didn't mention how gorgeous the guitar is played in here. Romantic, a little mysterious, kind of like the idea of a private investigator. It seems like a romantic idea, right? There's a certain kind of romanticism to it, a certain kind of fantasy to it, but at the same time, it's kind of black and white. It's kind of dreary, you know? I don't think I've ever actually seen a proper film noir. Like the Maltese Falcon, that's I believe one of the hallmarks of the genre. I've never seen it. All right, hear me out. The closest I've seen to a film noir, and it is technically one, I believe, is Les Samurai, which is a French film starring, what's his name? Is it Alan something? I don't know. But I really like that film. I used to be really big into film, and like especially art films and that kind of thing. And Les Samurai, that's one of those good ones, but you gotta have the time to like absorb it. It's a quiet, very quiet, slow burn of a film, but that's a good film. Yeah, Private Investigations. I like how as the music builds up, it does it with caution. It does it with care. It doesn't just explode in the way that I thought it would. And perhaps that would have been too predictable. But they choose the time and the place in which to allow small explosions to come out. For example, the guitar, about halfway through, and definitely 3/4 of the way through, begins to uptick in its intensity. First with the actual finger playing and the finger picking, but then into the riffs. But you just get almost lightning crashes of the riffs, rather than a full storm, which I think is a really nice creative choice. See, like right here, you get a rhythmic melody that is absolutely harder, but see how they choose where they're going to blow. And then they bring it back down. And if I'm bringing all this back to the lyrics and the story, of which I can imagine, I like the idea of this private eye who's always sneaking, always searching, always looking for answers, sorting through the lies. It's a quiet life, Japan, but it's not one filled with action, necessarily. Quiet action and quiet drama. Private drama. So, for example, this was just what I was envisioning. Some points in the music when the music would kind of rise up very sharply, I thought less of an action scene and more of like he's closing a file cabinet and like he's done with that case, like he's closed the case. I don't know. That was just what I was thinking. All right, let's get into the lyrics on this one. It's a mystery to me. The game commences for the usual fee plus expenses. Confidential information. It's in a diary. This is my investigation. It's not a public inquiry. Also, I actually did enjoy the voiceover going through because in film noirs, a lot of times there is voiced over narration told from the point of view of the detective themselves. So I thought that was a nice touch in the song itself. I go checking out the reports, digging up the dirt. You get to meet all sorts in this line of work. Treachery and treason, there's always an excuse for it. And when I find the reason, I still can't get used to it. So, like I said, it's almost like there's a word for it. But instead of looking at the life of a private investigator, a PI, in like a glamorous and romanticized view, is taking a more, I guess, kind of realistic viewpoint to it. Because in the next verse, he begins to talk about himself and how it's affecting him. He says, and what have you got at the end of the day? And what have you got to take away? A bottle of whiskey and a new set of lies, blinds on the windows, and a pain behind the eyes. So I think that that's talking about himself. Like Jessica Jones, right? She was a superhero, detective, and at least I only saw like the first season, so I don't know, it went further from that, but she was like always drinking out as well. Not that that necessarily relates to Private Eyes, but it's just a connection I made. So it's like this is how he deals with seeing all the lies and all the deceit and all the things that he has to see in doing these investigations. He could also be talking directly to the subject that he is investigating, right? If you read it from that way. And what have you got at the end of the day? What have you got to take away? A bottle of whiskey, a new set of lies, blinds on the windows to hide whatever's going on, and a pain behind the eyes. Could be talking about either or. And then the end, scarred for life, no compensation, private investigations. So, great track. Nice slow burn of subtlety. But I would love to know what you guys thought of it. You can let me know what you thought in the comments. I hope that you do. If you've ever watched one of the videos here, if you've ever been here on the channel, and you haven't said anything, if you haven't commented, I would love if you would introduce yourself. Comment below. I'll say hi. I'll wave to you. I'll do something. I'll put a little sunshine emoji because that's one of my favorite emojis to use. It's my way of passing the Floridian sunshine, a little bag of it over to you. So hope that you do that. You can also follow me on Twitter or support the channel on Patreon. But for now, hope that you enjoyed the video. Hope that you enjoyed your time here for the last few minutes. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.